Hey guys, welcome to the think tank. Good to see you. How's it going, Mexi? Melissa, Chopper, Shauna? Good to see you guys. So it's only about 8C here. Hello, James. Good to see you, friend. Very cloudy, and I think we're going to start getting some more showers. Better than snow. But the signs are there. My lord. My lord. My lord, and what is it? Melvin? Magic Melvin? Hey, Dandy. So there has been a little bit of paperwork that has dropped on Richard Allen's case. So now this is going to be the response to the Odinism defense. Mad Melvin. I love it. So I think what we'll do first, I just have to find it here. I want to just fast go over. I haven't put a picture with this yet, but I'm going to need to. Okay, where are you going? Right there, Namus. So, oh, there we go. This is Charlesetta Lynn Grau. She is a female who's been gone missing since August 27th, 2022. So this is from Namus. And that's a long time. She's missing from St. Petersburg, Florida. She was 19, 20 now. Her middle name, Lynn. Her nickname is Etta. She's 5'4", about 100 pounds. Brown hair. Says Charlesetta Grau. I hope I'm saying her name right. Charlesetta Grau was reported missing under suspicious circumstances and allegedly last seen in September 2022. Throughout the investigation, there have been... Are we not hooked up? What's going on over there with you guys? Okay, hold on here. I'm all over the place. Okay, that's better. Okay, so I'm sorry about that. I was noticing that one of my pages was not where it was supposed to be. So throughout the investigation, there have been statements that Grau may have traveled to Tennessee with an unknown male. However, there is no evidence to support the statements. Grau previously resided in Illinois and has a family in both Illinois and Indiana. Grau has been entered into NCIC, FCIC, and as a missing endangered purple alert. If there is any contact with Grau, please take appropriate actions. Notify the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. Detective Persaud, 727-358-7483. And there's some pictures of her. Okay, that doesn't help us. So a purple alert, I don't have it up, but that is basically somebody who has had or does have a mental impairment. So they're saying that she is about 7 years old mentally. So that makes her even more of a target. She's got pierced ears and a scar on her forehead. So if you have seen or know anything about Charlesetta, please do call 911 or your local police, and hopefully this young lady can be found. So sad. So also, I've got in my description is Mind of Monsters. Now, she is dealing with Charlosette's family directly and has a lot of really good information on her page, on her channel. So if you get some time, check her out, follow her. She has always got some really great content. All righty. So where are we? Hello, hello. How's everyone doing? It's Shauna. Good to see you, as always. So we will be talking today about the Delphi case again. The prosecution has responded to what the defense has put out. Let me see if that's the one. So I'm going to go back really fast. We're going to take a look here. Now, this is a few years ago, but what we're looking at is the timeline of their passing. We're not looking at current information. So February 13th, 2017, the girls go missing. What's this here? Sorry, a Snapchat picture of Abby walking across the Monon High Bridge on February 14th, 2017. The girls were found, and the police that they are investigating the deaths as possible homicides. February 18th, February 15th, 2017, authorities release a photo of a man walking across the bridge where the girls had been the day of their passing. And something police have, it's something police have because 14-year-old Libby snapped a picture. Oh my goodness, this girl, I mean, unreal. February 19th, 2017, the man is, in the photo, is named as prime suspect in the passings. February 22, 2017, police release audio from a cell phone recorded as the suspect is saying down the hill. May 14th, 2017, a celebration of life is held for Abby and Libby at the Delphi school. July 17th, 2017, police release a sketch of the suspect they hope someone will recognize. Oh, these pictures, hey? Wow. This one doesn't seem too far off the mark, though. So this composite sketch was released July 17th, 2017 by the Indiana police, and it shows the man they consider a main suspect in the attacks of teenage girls, Liberty German and Abigail Williams, who disappeared from a hiking trail near their hometown of Delphi on February 13th, 2017. State police are to make an announcement about the investigation to the 2017 passings of the two girls found deceased on the hiking trail. State police say Superintendent Doug Carter will discuss how the investigation has gone in a new direction during a Monday, April 22nd, 2019 news conference. So, February 2019, no one is behind bars by the 1-year anniversary. 2019, February 2019, Police reiterate that the case is not cold as they continue to investigate on the 2-year anniversary of the passings. April 22nd, 2019, police, this is like, what? Police release a new sketch and that they say more accurately represents the people they believe attacked the 2 girls. The first sketch showed a person in his mid-40s or 50s, but the new sketch shows a man believed to be in his 20s to late 30s. Police also release a video of the man walking across the bridge and announce that they believe the suspect to be a local to Delphi. This is the second sketch. Oh my, I did not bring hydration. So, February 2020, police believe they are one puzzle piece away from making an arrest at the 3-year anniversary of the passings. February 2021, police say they receive tips every day, but release no updates on the 4-year anniversary of the passings. September 2021, investigators move to a new space where they continue to work on the tips they receive as a reward grows to $325,000. Now, do you remember those girls that were in that fire that have a $5,000 reward? Wow, same state. December 2021, Indiana State Police request information from anyone who communicated, met, or attempted to meet the person behind the fake online account, Anthony Shots. Yeah, the Flora fires. Exactly, Melissa. So that's when this beauty came in. October 28, 2022, Indiana State Police announced in a news conference regarding a major update in the investigation. It is revealed ahead of time that Richard Allen, 50, of Delphi had been arrested. October 31st, 2022, Indiana State Police officially announced that Allen has been charged with 2 counts of deleting in the case. And then prosecutors come out with this. Who are we working with? Oh, okay, then. No, we don't need that. Although he's pretty. Okay, what's going on here? Oh, my word, this case, guys. You know, this is a heartbreaker. Well, hello, Mel. Good to see you. Thank you for that. Hey, folks. Sorry I'm late to the party again. Just remember to hit that bell in the future. Yep, better late than never. Oh, my word, guys. Hello, Douglas. Good to see you. Am I missing anybody? So that kind of gives a bit of a timeline as to what's happening with that case. So now, at this point, he has been in the Huskow for a year? When was he picked up? Oh, I deleted it. So yeah, some really odd things have started coming out about this case, like some really, really strange things. But you know what? We're going to touch base on it because the prosecution has been saying, "What?" No. So, Delphi. Suspect's attorneys asked judge to deny prosecution's subpoena for mental health records. Okay, so this is another one of, yeah, just about that year, right, Melissa? Yeah. No, just about a year. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna get some hydration. I forgot. Okay, we got ice, we got water. We're good. So what do you guys think? Yes, the Norse. I was just going to say the Norse heathens. It's like, what? But that's exactly just what Mexi's saying. Let me come over there, friend. The guards admitting they wore patches, but they weren't Odinists, but Norse heathens. And that's the thing. I've got a breakdown of all of that because there's so many offshoots of this that some are going to be okay, let's put it this way. When I looked up the heathens, nothing was in there about eating things that they shouldn't be eating or sacrificing things they should not be sacrificing. So we'll have to see. I mean, it's like, oh my goodness. Yeah, Norse heathens. That's exactly what they're saying. And it's a recognized religion. It absolutely is. So this is the Delphi case. And these little girls were taken February 13th, 2017. It was a day that they didn't have any school. So the girls asked if they could go to the Monon High Bridge to take pictures. So they did. The sister took her sister and her best friend to the trails, and they ran into a monster. So there's been a lot of different theories through all of this time. And just about a year ago, they picked up Richard Allen. 13 and 14, exactly. Abby was 13, Libby was 14. Well, they went to the trails to take their pictures, and they were not seen alive past then. They did look for them throughout the evening. Actually, the search started right away. But once it became dark, and not to say everybody quit, but the main search did. And they did find them. And it was not in a good situation. It was obviously foul play. So for whatever reason, whether it's to throw this case sideways or if there's actually these Odinists that wanted to do bad things to these kids, I mean, this just came up. So what we're going through today is basically the state side after there was 100, oh my goodness, a huge document from the defense talking about these Odinists, which fit in that heathen category. But and yeah, it sounds like they were wearing like things on their jail. There's a couple guards wearing these Odinist type patches. There's been all of a sudden this, yeah, if the fence go down the Odinism heathen cult route, they will get humiliated. And that's basically what they're trying to do in so many words, is exactly what yeah, what James just said. We was still weird during the press conference. He was sweet and old major. Yeah, they also have a patch that says "I hate people" that they have lately come out with. So yeah, we are basically just going through that. We'll go through the document, or we'll go through the case a little bit here, and then I've got some documents that we're going to take a look at that were just put out. Okay, so Delphi suspect's attorney asked judge to deny prosecution's subpoena for mental health records. The three, yeah, exactly, Mexi, the three triangles together. So what do you guys think about this? Why does the defense not want the prosecution to have medical and mental health records? No, they've got somebody in custody, and the prosecution, or sorry, the defense is trying to just throw shite to the fan and see if it sticks. Yeah. Just like Mexi just said there, the alleged deleter is sitting in prison as we speak. Yeah. So what do you guys think? What would be the reason that they would not want those medical and mental health records shown? Does that mean that there is no problem, actual problem with Richard? I cannot see any other reason why the defense does not want the prosecution to have this, other than him eating paper in prison was just a show. Yeah, stuff has gone crazy. It really has. Yeah, I like the way I'll pop back there for a second. Alleged, but it's him. That'd be a great judge. If you read what happened to these kids, Mel, ooh la la. You'd want him right in there with that chipmunk attacker. That's what I'm thinking. Medical. Didn't he go for some treatment, supposedly? Yes. He did. So does that mean that he was just fine and dandy? I mean, as fine and dandy as you can be after you eliminate 2 young girls. But I mean, yeah, there's not gonna be a lot of people that like him, but he better get used to that. Is that better for you guys? So I talked to someone that knows Charlotte's mom and says she was waking up every hour with nightmares. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, not done and dusted. Every time we turn around, there's something new being added. This defense, I mean, I think this is a pretty far-fetched thing all the way around. I do. The most common places that they're saying right now that these heathens are when it comes to, like, North America, isn't it's a prison population. So, I bet she does get some counseling. Yeah, just I mean, wha So, Carroll County, Indiana, attorney for Delphi suspect Richard Allen are asking the court to deny prosecution access to their client's mental health and medical records. In September, Carroll County prosecutor Nick McClellan subpoenaed Allen's health records from his time in captivity. The subpoena sought the results of examinations and evaluations that Allen has undergone at the Westville Correctional Facility since, okay, November 3rd will be a year, friends. Well, right around there, so he didn't go straight there, right? October. So, yeah, it is this month. So, Allen faces 2 counts of deleting in the passing of Abby Williams and Libby German near the Monon High Bridge in February 2017. Indiana State Police announced his arrest on October 2022, more than 5 years after this happened to those young girls. So this week, his attorneys filed a pair of motions seeking to squash the subpoena request. The prosecution wanted the defense to turn over any other documents, records, notes, videos, and or writings that the facility may have pertaining to Allen's physical and mental health. So, sounds great, Douglas. So, what does this mean, you guys? What in your mind does this mean? The evaluations were made, the both medical, mental, physical, all of that stuff. If they were playing straight up, yeah, you would give that to give that to the prosecution because it's not making you look good. Mm. The defense here, I don't know. Let's see, I'll pop over here for a second before I continue on. I bet, friend, and she's gonna need that for a while, but it's amazing what, love can do. Kappa, kappa. I've always believed it was more than one person, but the Odinism cult stuff doesn't hold water with me. Reeks of desperation from the defense, in my humble opinion. I'm with your humble opinion. I really am. I wonder if it would be some sort of HIPAA violation. But if you have a subpoena and you had that treatment in jail, yeah, I mean, in my mind, the defense brought this up. They're the ones that said, uh-oh, something bad's not happening in the Hooskow. Well, how can they go there and accuse that and not have paperwork to back that up? Like I could say, so many things are wrong with that, in my opinion. I feel like that wouldn't be fair to turn over, but I think it's fair if they did it while his incarceration. because they're saying all sorts of stuff have happened. So I think they need to show us that that's what's been happening. They can't just say it. And you can't go by the look of him, because that was desperate. Walking him in where it looked like he vomited all over his clothes. Like, give me a break. Give me a break. Yeah. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. To me, it looks more like someone covering their tracks or trying to make things like something it isn't. But more than one, a ritual needs time. It seems confused at the scene. Yeah, for what they're explaining as far as the scene is, I don't know how it could be that tidy with a bunch of people running around it, no matter how careful they plan on being. And it leaves a greater chance for someone else's DNA to be there. So in the filing, Ellen's attorney characterized the subpoena as unreasonable and oppressive. They argue the records contain personal information about Ellen that is protected by law. The defense also pointed out that Ellen raised issue about his mental condition in his request to be moved from Westville to another facility. Ellen, his attorney, previously said he had been held in isolation for the bulk of his time in captivity, resulting in medical and physical decline. See, that's what I need them to show me. Show me those results that say that he's not sharp. I don't buy it. Like, this is, to me, no. No. I mean, has he been on a stress diet because he's just been busted for doing bad things to young girls? Yeah. But I'm sorry, this guy admitted it. And to say that he was forced into this because the Odinism got him? Please. Oh, please. Mm-mm-mm. Do you remember reporting? No. I've never heard that. Do you remember where, friend? Isn't that interesting? Yeah, cute doggo. I'm wondering if they could have been kept somewhere, any evidence of them anywhere else. No, and that is the thing. There is no evidence of them being anywhere else. He sure did, Douglas, to his wife on the jailhouse phone and to his mother on the jailhouse phone. So, duh, right? I think it was. I think it was. The only thing I can think of is if they like the water there to clean up Abby or something. Like, yeah, his wife over the jail phone. Look at the dog's eyes. That'd cry for help. Right? Oh my word. Like, there's these type of people running all over our world. Isn't that just scary as ish? But I think he's probably gone on a stress diet, because that would seem very likely for me. Oh, I'm okay. I'll come back there again. Livy's grandma mentions it in an interview that their phones were pinging all over town. Search stopped. Then they went back to Monon and continued their search because they got a ping. I remember something about it. I do. So why all the fuss about if he's guilty? Because now his defense is saying that his mental situation was not in a good place and that he was making up lies because the Odinism guards were threatening to unalive his family if he didn't plead guilty over the phone. So I don't know, right? Hey, Carrie, good to see you. It's very sus, right? Yep. Yeah, riddled with guilt. I'd make the noose slightly tighter. I think he could very well be riddled with guilt. Sounds like his lawyers are using, a BS medical ploy. Yeah, they have to. They're trying with the document that they put out. They're trying to blame everything on Odinists threatening him at the jail, and the prison actually not taking care of him in any way. That, he's just been thrown in solitary, and yeah, they're blaming stuff on him that's just exactly straight to the gallows. Right. That's what I was thinking also. They searched that area pretty darn hard. They did. So if it's October, I wonder if it's after the time change, which makes it a little bit darker, a little bit faster. Yeah, and they say before he wasn't in a good state of mind. Yeah. Think he was there, but not the killer. More than one involved. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's all so possible. The more people you add, the more that has to be quiet, right? More of a chance of DNA being left at a scene. So, I mean, there's people out there that are masters of deception and are very good at hiding their tracks. So, very well could happen. Okay, so this is a year or two before his arrest. And this was on April 4th, 2023. So Allen's attorneys wrote that they had not filed an insanity defense, nor have they requested competency evaluations of Allen, meaning his mental state is not at issue in the innocent or guilt phase of the proceeding. The attorneys also wrote that the requested information is not likely to lead to the discovery of admissible evidence. Special Judge Fran Gull of Allen County is overseeing the case, and he is scheduled to go to trial in January 2024. Let's hope that actually happens. Let's hope. Okay, so let's take a peek at this. Court docs. Correctional officers overseeing Richard Allen deny practicing Odinism despite wearing religious patches on their uniforms. Tuesday court documents are in reference to the evidence. Oh, what's going on here? Outlining why they believe Libby and Abby German were ritualistically sacrificed. Just brutal. Oh, of course.
New court filings. Prosecutors are addressing accusations of how accused killer Richard Allen is being treated while behind bars awaiting his trial. And in those documents, prosecutors acknowledge what guards at the Westville Correctional Facility were wearing and why the defense says that's significant.
Yeah, Rich and I has been looking through those documents all afternoon. He's here now with what it means and what the jury trial still scheduled for January. Is that still happening?
We'll see. Probably doubtful, honestly. Richard Allen's attorneys have asked the judge again to move him out of the Westville Correctional Facility to a county jail while he awaits trial. He is charged with the 2017 murders of Libby German and Abby Williams. Allen's attorneys believe the girls were killed in a planned abduction and ritualistic sacrifice by.
So the part that bothers me, if this is just a ploy, then why in God's green earth did the defense put out all those names publicly? The names of the guards, the names of these alleged Odinists. I'm not quite sure how it works that reasonable doubt can be. Can it be? You guys tell me. Can they just make something up? Any old thing? Can the defense do that and just go, oh, okay, well, to me, it looks like this? Is that the way it happens? I don't know.
Odinist. The defense claims that 2 prison guards supervising Allen at the prison are Odinists who have threatened, intimidated, and mentally abused him, including monitoring and recording attorney visits with Allen. The attorney suggested Allen confess to the killings in an April phone call to his wife from prison because he feared his wife would be harmed if he did not. In sworn affidavits, the 2 guards admit that they wore patches on their uniforms that can be associated with Odinism, but they were ordered to remove them by their commander within just the past couple.
So, yeah, they're saying, I don't know if it is those exact patches, because there are some out there that do not say in Odin we trust. So they're saying there is a whole bunch of different heathen religions out there, and Odinism is just one of them. So even through Odinism, they're not finding anyone who makes human sacrifices. I mean, we're not seeing remnants of fires. We're not seeing remnants of other people being unalived in this fashion. So it makes me question.
Couple of weeks. Both guards say they do not practice Odinism and they are not part of a radical hate group. They say they have never threatened Richard Allen or had any one-on-one conversations with him. And the warden at the jail says in a sworn affidavit that no one in the prison has ever been ordered to threaten, harass, or put Allen in danger. But the court records say that Allen was tased twice in May for not following the command.
So yeah, twice in May, they tased him. This is something I would love to know more about, because I would really like to know what it was that he did to make them tase him. I hope that they can explain that really, really well, because if it comes out that they tased him and it was just to be cruel or mean, uh-oh.
Hands of prison guards. And the prosecutor says he is not opposed to Allen being moved to another state, but that the court has already ruled on that and that Allen should be kept where he is at for safekeeping until the trial. The Carroll County prosecutor says the defense continues to make unfounded accusations supported by absolutely no proof. And the judge just ruled this afternoon that the prosecution must turn over all the evidence in this case to the defense by November 1st.
But then, okay, if they have to pass all their information forward, doesn't the defense also have to give up all their information? Isn't it like everybody has to share what they have? Or is it just a prosecution that has to share everything? How does that work?
The defense has been accusing the prosecution of withholding evidence that points to other suspects. The prosecution says that's just not true. They just have 6 years of evidence in many forms to gather, to go through, and to try to make copies. And that's a lot of stuff, quite honestly, to get to the other side.
There is so much back and forth between the prosecution and the defense. It's so unusual. So what's next?
Well, this is all part of this Odinist alternative theory. It's still all part of Richard Allen's attorneys trying to get his search warrant thrown out.
And that's what they want to do. They want that search warrant thrown out. So it also makes me wonder, if they want that search warrant of his house thrown out, what did they find in that house? Did something that they took, did it have DNA of sorts on it? You know, did he still have the weapon? Did he still have the clothing? It's going to be interesting.
Which then could disrupt the whole case, or perhaps throw out the whole case. We're still waiting on the judge to decide if she'll even hold a hearing on that issue.
Yeah, that would be really significant. Meanwhile, the trial is supposed to be, 3 months away?
Scheduled for January.
Yeah. All right. Rich, thank you.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I don't know if they're going to be ready or not. In a September filing, defense attorneys Andrew Baldwin and Bradley Rossi claim 3 members of law enforcement looked into the possible connection of Odinists, which they described as being members of a pagan Norse religion. Oh. Sorry, what did I just do? I jumped. Okay. Norse, not North. Religion, which has been hijacked by white nationalists as being involved with these passings. According to the court documents filed October 10th, the prosecutor spoke with 2 correctional officers at the Westville Correctional Facility who the defense team claims have ties to Odinism. You guys aren't seeing all this either, so I'm going to do this again. There we go. Court documents say that both correctional officers denied practicing Odinism, but admitted to wearing patches on their uniforms that can be, but they are not, associated with Odinism. The correctional officers said they stopped wearing the patches on their uniforms in September of 2023 when they were asked to remove them. The correctional officers also claimed they were not a part of a cult or radical hate group. One of the correctional officers said Norse paganism heatheny is a practicing religion. In regards to their interactions with Allen, the correction officials both said they never threatened Allen and never had a one-on-one conversation with Allen about Odinism. One of the correctional officers told prosecutors he went above and beyond to not use any kind of force on Allen, even though there have been times when use of force was justified by standard operating procedures. That correctional officers said Allen was tased twice, once on May 9th and once on May 25th, because he did not comply with what the officers' orders were. So yeah, I'd be very, very curious to know what he did. The prosecutor also spoke with the acting warden of Westville Correction Facility, who said correctional officers were allowed to wear any patches on their vests until the allegation made by the defense. That's not normal, is it? Is that any way normal? What the hell? Okay. What? Down. Back over here for a second. And then I'm back over here with you guys. Good. Okay, sorry. Do. Down. Let's see. Not sure. Be safe for Alan moving closer to Delphi. Possibly, but there is one thing. You're not to have patches of any kind on your uniform other than patches that is required by the institution. And yet this guy's going, oh, now they can wear whatever they want. It's like, what? Does that make any sense? To a certain extent, they have to share what each other has as far as legal legal documents are known. So, oh my word. That's a little confusing now, isn't it? Because you'd think that this would be something that should be shared. I would think just because it's been ongoing since he's been in prison. But I guess I don't know. I just think that there's only one way to clear that, and that this had an effect on him, that he was getting attacked by these guards, is to find out at that time what kind of condition he was in mentally. So yeah, the uniform is an important part of being the law. No one really, they're strict about that stuff. And yet this guy's saying no. Do you think so? You're starting to think he's a fall guy? Let's see here. Wait, guards are into Odinism? What? Odin warriors are a bikie gang. Oh, seriously? Yeah. I just learned that too. The days of the week are named after, they begin with, the first initial of the Odin gods. Is fairly bizarre. So yeah, I do have something that it will kind of explain a lot of that stuff. It blows me away. Oh no, tased. You got to listen. They do not even play. That's got to hurt. Like, I can't even imagine. They're not allowed to wear their patches. Ruckus worked at a prison as a guard years ago. And yet this warden seems to be going, go for it. Right? Warden is saying that as long as they have 5 or more people, they can wear patches. I find it really hard to believe that one prison has even 2 people that follow that rare religion. No, you can't have anything like that on your uniform. I don't think they can even have "In God We Trust" anymore. Oh, whoa, okay. Thursday. Okay. The warden also said the facility offers religious services if there are at least 5 people who practice the religion in that complex. And the facility has never held a service related to Odinism. And of the very few inmates that practice Odinism, the warden said none of those inmates are housed with or next to Alan. The defense team, who previously filed an emergency motion to modify the safekeeping order on April 5th, 2023, which was denied. The defense attorneys filed a motion to reconsider during a hearing in May 3rd, 2023, which the court denied. According to the prosecutor, Allen is being treated more favorably than other inmates housed at the Westville Correctional Facility, which is part of the Indiana Department of Corrections. This, to me, it looks like it's staged. Like, why the heck do they have some of this stuff on him? I mean, you see Brian Koberger walk in with a suit on. So why is this guy's lawyers letting him go in like that? Come on. The defense latest motion accused 2 correctional officers of unjust and inhumane treatment against Allen, which the prosecutor denies. So what with this, the thing with this is, oh my goodness, like they are under a magnifying glass in that prison. So would you really, knowing that everybody is watching your moves, would you start mistreating somebody that was in your care? It just is like, just unreal. All righty. So according to the prosecutor, Allen would be placed in the same kind of holding cell he is in now if he were to be moved to the Cass County Jail. The prosecutor also claims that Indiana Department of Corrections is more equipped to transport Allen back and forth to court dates in order to keep him safe and ensure he makes it to all future hearings. The state believes it has turned over everything in their possession and has no problem to a discovery deadline. According to the court documents, the state said the defense theory that the state is intentionally withholding evidence because it is exculpatory and not true. Prosecutors also claim that the defense team hasn't turned over any pieces of evidence from their investigation. According to prosecutors, when the state filed charges against Allen, the discovery was not in format that could easily be provided to the defense, which the prosecutor clarified as all paper documents had to be copied and scanned, and all of the external hard drives and reports from law enforcement had to be collected. The state is asking the court to require the defense team to turn over any evidence that they get and not dump all of the evidence on the state on November 1st, 2023 at 11:59 p.m. Also Tuesday, Allen's defense team submitted 2 motions asking the judge to deny the state's request for the Department of Corrections to turn over Allen's medical and mental health records. The defense argued that those records contain private health information that have no impact on the question of Allen's guilt or innocence related to the passings. The defense motion noted that it has not filed an insanity defense and that no one has requested a competency hearing. So defense attorneys argue Allen's medical and mental health are not at issue. Well, then why did you let him go into court like this? What was the reason behind that? How come you didn't have him dressed all spiffy and walking around like Brian Koberger? Come on. Come on. I mean, this is so ridiculous. It's offensive almost. So the defense argued that those records contain private. So they can redact all of that very easily so that they only get the information they want. On September 25th, the state asked DOC to turn over Allen's medical records and exam results from the start of his stay at Westville Correctional Facility on November 3rd, 2022. Prosecutors also asked for any documents recordings, notes, videos, and or writings that the facility may have related to Ellen's health. The judge will decide whether to approve the defendant's motion to squash the subpoenas or to allow DOC to release that information. Just what? Come on. I mean, I think full disclosure is full disclosure. That's kind of what I think. And if he wasn't sitting in the Hooskow for doing this, then he wouldn't have to hand this kind of stuff over. But the defense, in my personal opinion, is making them sound, yeah, I think you're exactly right. Sounds like the defense team are fabricating medical reasons for a release of the prisoner. I think you're exactly right, 1000%. Just crazy out there. So we won't have to look at this, I don't think, because we just went over that. So let's take a quick look at this here. So this is heathenry, new religious movement. So there's only bits and pieces, as you can see. It's like incredibly long, believe it or not. Let's get up here. Like, it's long. And every country has, look at this, heathenry in the United Kingdom, modern paganism in Scandinavia, neo-paganism in Germany-speaking Europe, and neo-paganism in Latin Europe. So North America, United States, heathenry in Canada. So the United States likely contains the largest heathen community in the world, while deeming it impossible to calculate the exact size of the heathen community in the US. In the mid-1990s, the social, okay, guys, my damn tongue. Okay, anyways, so we'll just, it's not going to come. Jeffrey Kaplan estimated there was around 500 active practitioners in the country, with a further 1,000 individuals on the periphery of the movement. He noted that the overwhelming majority individuals in American heathen communities were white, male, and young. Most had at least an undergraduate degree and worked in a mix of white-collar and blue-collar jobs. The Pagan Census Project, led by Helen A. Berger, Evan A. Leach, and Leah S. Schaefer, gained 60 responses from heathens in the U.S. Of these respondents, 65% were male, 35% female, which Berger, Leach, and Schaefer noted was the opposite of the female majority trend within the rest of the county's pagan community. A majority had a college education, but were generally less well educated than the wider pagan community, and also a lower median income from their experience within the community. Snook educated, let me see here, Snook concurred that the majority of American heathens were male, adding that most were white middle-aged, but believed there had been growth in the proportion of female heathens in the U.S. since the mid-1990s. Subsequent assessments have suggested a larger support base, $10,000 to $20,000, according to McNallen in 2006. 7,878 according to a 2014 census. In 2018, the scholar Religion Jefferson F. Kellico suggested that there was between 8,000 and 20,000 heathens in U.S. So they're everywhere. Everywhere. Again, they're saying that the US has the highest amount, but still, let me see where we're at here. There's a couple places. Heathenry, also termed heathenism, contemporary Germanic paganism, or Germanic neo-paganism, is a modern pagan religion. Scholars of religious studies classify it as a new religious movement developed in Europe during the early 20th century. Its practitioners model it on pre-Christian religions adhered to by the Germanic peoples of the Iron Age and early Middle Ages. Is an attempt to reconstruct these past belief systems. Heathenry uses surviving historical, archaeological, and folkloric evidence as a basis, although approaches to this material vary considerably. Okay, I need some hydration. Back to my tongue sticking to the top of my head. Where'd that go? Where was that? Like, what? So yeah, it is all, it's spread all over the place. So I'm just wondering, I want to find, because there is stuff in here that says like, there's so many variations that just because they decided to wear those does not mean that they were dancing around fires in the middle of the night with capes on and taking kids. Look, there's nothing in there that shows that or anything like it. So if you guys want, it's a fairly big read, but that is from Wikipedia. And then, let's see here. Alrighty, so we do have some documents to go through, but I have some good news. There's not that many. I don't know if that's good news to you or me, but so the first couple is the Carroll County State of Indiana versus Richard M. Allen. State's response to defense, verified motion for immediate transfer of custody. Yes, folklore. Exactly. So what do you think now, Douglas? Are you thinking that maybe he's got something to do with this? There is a very, very large Facebook. I've got a very, very large section on Delphi. Just go in and check it out. I've got quite a big, I think there's like 900 videos I've got in the playlist for all of the different cases, but the playlist for Delphi is pretty expansive. I'm going to come back here to you all. Mexi. Hey, that's where I've heard it before. Yes, yes, yes. Does it, James? Non-believer in Christianity. I just think there's a whole bunch of, yes, many white power inmates have Odinism tattoos as well. Yeah, that's where it seems to be the most prominent right now. Paganism is a thing, no doubt. The Beatles were into Aleister Crowley. Were they pagans? Probably. I don't know. I mean, the sad thing is now is everything literally has got a label. It doesn't matter if it doesn't even have to be remotely close to the other one. They might just keep a couple names or something and say, okay, well, we all believe in that. But no, we're not going to go take those kids. All of the stuff I've read, there's nobody out there taking kids. Yes, some of them actually do that as well and drink out of horns. It's just, yeah. Alrighty, so let's take a peek at this one. So now comes the state of Indiana by prosecuting attorney Nicholas C. McClelland. I'm going to take myself off of here and maybe you guys can get a better look at the page. No? Alrighty. Okay. And respectfully files its response to the defendant's verified motion for immediate transfer to custody and would ask the court to consider the following. 1, the charges that were filed against the defendant, Richard Allen, on October 28th, 2022, for 2 counts of deleting in violation, then they give the code. 2, that the Carroll County Sheriff Department requested that the defendant be transferred to the Indiana Department of Corrections for safekeeping, and said request was granted. That the defendant was transferred to the Westville Correctional Facility and has been housed there since November 3rd, 2022. That within the facility, he is housed in a segregation unit for his safety and protection. Yeah. That the defense previously filed an emergency motion to modify the safekeeping order on April 5th, 2023, which was denied. That the defense then filed a motion to reconsider the request for due process hearing May 3rd, 2023. That hearing was held, after which the court denied the defense's motion to modify the safekeeping orders, stating that allegations advanced by the defense were not supported by the evidence presented. Boom. The court added that the defendant was being treated more favorably than the other inmates housed at Westville Correctional Facility. And that is actually, guys, what I would think, because I can't imagine with all these eyes on Westville Correctional Facility that they would start beating the snot out of Richard Allen, mentally or physically. I mean, high risk? Thinking so. You know? Come on. So that the defense has now filed a verification motion for immediate transfer of custody, alleging additionally mistreatment of the defendant at Westville Correctional Facility. Defendant at Westville Correction Facility to ensure the defendant's safety to previous serious bodily harm to himself. That in the defense's latest motion, the defense now accuses Westville Correctional Facility officers, Sergeant Joshua Robinson and Sergeant Randy Jones, of unjust and inhuman treatment of the defendant. Good God. That once again, the allegations in the defendant's motion, while colorful and dramatic, This is what I think. Exactly. Once again, the allegations in the defendant's motion, while colorful and dramatic, are not correct. I'm sorry, that's my personal opinion. Mm. And we're all entitled to our own opinion. That both Sergeant Joshua Robinson and Sergeant Randy Jones have worn patches that refer to Odinism. That those patches reflect Sergeant Robinson's and Sergeant Jones' religious beliefs that are not associated with any kind of cult. That Sergeant Jones did not remove the patch from his vest until ordered to by command. That Sergeant Jones is assigned to B pod for the unit while the defendant is housed in A pod. So they're not even, what? That Sergeant Jones assists with moving the defendant from one spot to another within the facility and has also been tasked with the 15-minute check-in with the defendant facilitated by his mental health safety plan. That Sergeant Jones does not choose which detail he works and works the detail that he is assigned to by his command. That Sergeant Jones did remain at his post while the defendant visited with his wife because that is what he is assigned to do. The defense seems to imply that Sergeant Jones should have left his post in violation of his direct orders and therefore risk his employment just so the defendant and his wife could have more privacy. The fact the defense defense expects that the defendant and his wife to have intimate privacy in a prison is astonishing. That Sergeant Jones has never threatened, harassed, or spoken one-on-one with the defendant. That Sergeant Jones was never ordered by his command to threaten and harass the defendant. That the defendant was tased twice between May 9th, 2023 and May 25th, 2023, because he would not follow the commands of the correctional officers. That the correctional officers are required to follow protocol when dealing with an inmate who is in violation of the rules. That Sergeant Jones did not tase the defendant out of anger, spite, or in an effort to hurt the defendant or treat him inhumanely. That Sergeant Robinson is assigned to A pod where the defendant is housed. That Sergeant Robinson has never harassed, threatened, or spoke one-on-one with the defendant. That Sergeant Robinson was never ordered by his command to threaten and harass the defendant. That Sergeant Robinson also continued to wear his patch until ordered to remove them by command. That inmate Robert Baston has written a few letters to the court claiming that corrections officers within Westville Correctional Facility are corrupt. That inmate Robert Baston is a convicted, and gave his case number and is serving 40 years. That throughout his case, Robert Baston has asked for modified after modified throughout his case. Asked for modification after modification, throughout his case, citing wrongful conviction, the COVID pandemic, and even because the DOC is providing the wrong kind of soap. That Robert Baston, throughout his sentence, has tried every means manageable to reduce or modify his sentence for his heinous crime. That the hearing on June 15th, 2023, the defense subpoenaed inmate Robert Baston to court so that he could give a sworn statement to the court, and inmate Robert Baston refused to leave his cell. Oh, alrighty then. That the allegations made by inmate Robert Baston are hardly credible. that Sheriff Tony Liggett, the defense allegations that the correctional officers are attempting to conceal unacceptable practices is false. That Sheriff Tony Liggett has no vested interest in keeping the defendant at Westville Correction Facility other than the safety and well-being of the defendant. That the defendant insinuates that Sergeant Robinson and Sergeant Jones were assigned to assist with the moving of the defendant because they believed in Odinism, and that Westville Command intentionally did this in some effort to mistreat the defendant. That Warden John Gallipo has signed an affidavit attached to his response that ensures that no one in his command has an agenda related to Odinism or ever ordered anyone under their command to harass or threaten the defendant. That Sergeant Jones and Sergeant Robinson have both signed affidavits attached to this response that outline their duties in the facility and affirm that they have never threatened, harassed, or made any references to Odinism to the defendant. That both Sergeant Joshua Robinson and Sergeant Randy Jones were interviewed at Westville Corrections Facility by investigators on September 18th, 2023, and were both found to be cleared of any wrongdoing. That neither Sergeant Robinson nor Sergeant Jones are part of a radical hate group. The defense continues to make unfounded accusations supported by absolutely no proof. The defendant is isolated for his protection and would be isolated if he was to move to another facility. That if the defendant is moved to Cass County Jail, he will be placed in essentially the same kind of holding cell that he is in now, with the exception that he would be more convenient to the defense. That the Carroll County Sheriff's Department does not have the manpower to transport the defendant. That the Carroll County Jail does not have mental health counselors or counseling, whereas the Department of Corrections has those resources available for the well-being of the defendant. The defendant is in no way being treated less fairly than anyone else in that facility. He certainly is not being treated less fairly than a convicted person in that facility. That the colorful, dramatic language used in the defense was attempted to curry public favor for their client and try this matter in the public eye instead of in the courtroom, as they have done in several more motions to date. Yeah, a lot of things were slipping out, weren't they? We were getting lots of information for a while there. That again, the state has no opinion on where this defendant should be housed awaiting trial, but the state does take offense to the irresponsible allegations of the defense in their motion, including 2 correctional officers of wrongdoing and possibly no proof of such. The state has no objection to the defendant being moved to a facility within the Department of Corrections to better accommodate his needs, but the court has already addressed that issue in previous orders. The defendant's current placement at Westville Correctional Facility is not a violation of his civil liberties. That the conditions of the defendant is housed in have not changed since the last time the issue was litigated in front of his court on June 15th, 2023. That the Carroll County Sheriff's Department declined the request of defense to move the defendant because the Carroll County Sheriff's Department does not have the manpower to transport the defendant. That the Department of Corrections is more equipped to transfer the defendant back and forth to court dates in order to keep the defendant safe and ensure that he makes it to all future hearings. The defense is consuming the limited resources of the is office, okay, and this court with repetitive motions that lack any factual basis. Wherefore, now comes the state of Indiana by prosecuting attorney Nicholas C. McClelland and files their response to the defendant's verified motion of immediate transfer of custody that would ask this court to consider the same when making its decision for all other just and proper relief in the premises. So signed and dated. That's their response. What do you guys think? Very interesting, hey? I'm finding it just has thrown in another little glitch. Okay, so this is even shorter yet, but we've got the affidavits from both of those guards. So we'll take a look at those. Okay. Are you guys, am I boring you yet? How you guys doing in there? Let's see. All righty, so let's take a look at this. So this affidavit was put out yesterday from the Carroll Circuit Court, Carroll County, Indiana. So this is Sergeant Joshua Robinson, correctional officer at the Westville Correctional Facility, which is part of the Indiana State of Corrections. Sorry. Did I get that right? Department of Corrections. Okay, I'm going to put this up. There we are. Okay, that I am a correctional sergeant at Westville Correctional Facility and have been since October 17th, 2021. I have been employed at Westville Corrections Facility since July of 2016. That I am assigned to WCU unit at Westville Corrections Facility, A-Pod, but have been working on B-Pod since the spring of 2022. That the defendant is assigned to A-Pod. That I do not practice Odinism. That I do wear patches on my uniform that can be, but are not associated with Odinism. That the patches pay the utmost respect to my religious higher power, the same way a Christian person would swear to a cross. That I am not part of a cult, that I am not part of a radical hate group, that I started wearing the patch with the vests when the vests were issued to me and stopped wearing the patches on September 19th, 2023, as per order of my commander. That the patches do not represent racism or hate for anybody, that I have never had any interaction with the defendant that was not recorded, that I have never had any one-on-one interaction with the defendant, that we were alone together, that it would be impossible for me to have any one-on-one interaction with the defendant because policy mandates that anytime you engage with a member of that unit, you must be accompanied by another officer. That the defendant is on a security plan that mandates that at least 2 staff members and a video camera are present when interacting with the defendant. That I have interacted with the defendant alongside Sergeant Jones, but this was always video monitored. That I have never threatened or harassed the defendant, that I have never had one-on-one conversations with the defendant about Odinism, that I have never had one-on-one conversations with a defendant where I tried to influence him in any way. that the only interactions that I have with the defendant are the ones that are required by my duties as a correctional officer, and that every interaction that I have had with a defendant has been because I was ordered to do so by my command. Command has never ordered me to threaten or harass the defendant. When I do speak to the defendant, I give him basic commands as to how to move while he is out of his cell, that all interactions with the defendant have been documented on a video camera, that I have always treated the defendant with a level of respect and professionalism, that the defense untruthfully targets me as part of a cult, that I am not familiar with the evidence involved in the defense's case beside what I have seen in public media, that I have never had that I have never had an excessive force complaint filed against me while I have been employed at the Westville Correctional Facility. I swear under penalty of perjury, as specified by blah, 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 that the foregoing representations are true and accurate to the best of my knowledge. Seriously, my face starts to stick together. Like, what? Like, no. Hydration. So let's see here. So this is going to be Randy Jones, Sergeant Randy Jones, and filed the same day. Pretty confusing. I'm just going to bring this one up for you as well, just in case your eyes are anything like my eyes. Let me see here. He said a few numbers up that his interactions weren't always on video, but he mentions twice that all his interactions are on video. Okay. Hydrate, and then we'll do this. Okay. So now, Sergeant Randy Jones, correctional officer at the Westville Correctional Facility, which is part of the Indiana Department of Corrections, affirms and swears the following: that I am a correctional officer with Westville Correctional Facility, that I have been assigned to WCU unit of Westville Correctional Facility since December 11th, 2022, currently assigned to B-Pod, that I have been an acting supervisor on A-Pod, where the defendant is housed since late February, early March of 2023, that I do not practice Odinism, and that Norse pagan heathenry is my practicing religion. So we just looked at that. That I do wear patches on my uniform that identify me as someone who practices Norse paganism, heathenry. That I started wearing the patches 6 or 7 months ago, but I did not stop wearing my patches until September 22nd, 2023, when ordered by my command to remove the patches. That the patches do not represent racism or hatred for anyone. That I am not part of a cult. That I am not part of a radical hate group. That the patches show my dedication to my faith and to my country. That the defendant is filmed with a handheld camera whenever he is moved from the cell for his safety. That I interact with the defendant I interacted with the defendant when I was in charge of holding the handheld camera to film his movements when he is moved from his cell to another area within the facility. That I am also assigned periodically to check on the defendant at his door, as he has a 15-minute check implemented by his mental health plan. Okay, so if they've got a mental health plan, then maybe both of them need to see why he requires that. That during the door checks, I would usually walk to the defendant's cell, make sure he is okay and not at risk of self-harm, and then walk away. That I have never threatened the defendant. That I have never had a one-on-one conversation with the defendant about Odinism. That I do not know anything about the practice of Odinism. That I have never had a one-on-one conversation with the defendant where I tried to influence him in any way. That I have gone above and beyond to not use any kind of force on the defendant, even though there have been times when use of force was justified by standard operating procedures. That there have been times when I have gone above and beyond in order to be gentler with the defendant to prevent him from getting tased. That the defendant was tased twice between May 9th, 2023, May 25th, 2023, because we could not get him to comply with our orders. That I have never had an extensive force complaint filed against me while I have been employed at Westville Correctional Facility. That I have been employed with the Department of Corrections since April 4th, 2022, and that this job is my passion and what I love doing. I swear under penalty of perjury, as specified by, and then gives the code, that the foregoing representations are true and accurate to the best of my knowledge. So there's that. So yeah, that's what's been going on lately with Richard Allen's case. We'll have to see next how the court's going to respond, and I'm sure the defense is still going to be doing whatever they can to make sure that almost everything regarding him is like kept from the jury. I mean, he puts himself there. He admits it to his family. I mean, just, oh my word. Surely body-worn cameras, are they? At least CCTV. Yeah, there's CCTV all over the place there. That's the thing. It's everywhere. And they're able to say this is what's happened, but they've had no way to prove it. They haven't once said, here's my proof, but they are going about saying, this is what we believe, but they're not saying that they can back it with any kind of fact. Yeah, for their safety and for the inmate's safety, he has to be. I don't know. Wouldn't batons be worse? Like I would think more the batons would be worse than being tased. But I've been neither. So yeah, but I mean, most jails, they've got cameras everywhere, inside, outside, all around the yards. They got CCTV everywhere. CCTV, yeah, everywhere. Really? I'd rather have the bat. Yeah, thank God, not ever wanting to. No, that's not true. I did see one guy get tased. He didn't look like he was having fun. But I've never put myself in the position where that's going to happen. I can't see any. Well, there's that too, Carrie. Yep, there's that too. So, friends, I am going to call it. It was nice to be able to. Oh, my friend tased me for a joke. Turns out it's not funny at all. Why the heck would you let him do that? Oh, no, right? Yeah. So do you think that would be worse? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, I'm going to have to look into that, aren't I? I'll take a peek. I will absolutely take a peek. Oh my God, man. Oh my God, you cracked me up, friend. You cracked me up. Actually, on YouTube, I just subscribed to Scotland's. I think it's missing on Twitter. Nope, nope, nope. I'm with you. Nope, nope, nope. Yeah, right, Maxie. Who are you hanging out with? So you know what? I'm in the process of trying to move our bedroom to the next floor. So I have to work on that a bit, but I am going to check out Carly Russell before I get on to that. Did you, Tracy? I've never even, no. Oh, shite. Yeah, I did actually. Oh my goodness. Okay, I am gonna stop this stream. We just about did another 2 hours again, friends. James and the Vagabonds. So, friends, if you're new, before we end the stream, if you're new, would love to have you subscribe, and don't forget to hit that thumb for me. So, guys, I will absolutely see you in the next one. Bye.